Good evening, everyone. This is the Shaker Lane School Building Committee meeting, Wednesday, August 20th. First order of business is to approve the prior meeting minutes. Did anyone have a chance to look at those and any comments?
They look good to me.
I have one comment. That's item 1, where Steve Venuti has a W in his name, and I think we need to remove that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only comment I have.
Good catch.
That sounds like a good edit. We'll make that edit.
So we'll do a roll call vote. All those in favor, Kelly?
Kelly, yes.
Mike?
Mike Scudetto, yes.
Steve W. Venuti?
Steve Venuti, yes.
Bob?
Bob Romo, yes.
Mike?
Mike Scudetto again, yes.
And Steve, yes. So the motion carries.
Did you get Michelle?
Oh, Michelle?
I think I was one of the mics, but Michelle Kane, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle.
That's okay, Steve.
Okay, got it. So, Mark, do you want to talk about the invoices?
Yeah, this is Matt. I'm taking over from Mark for just tonight because he's
okay, Matt.
He's out of state. So no problem. So we're reviewing. We've got 2 invoices to look at and review and approve for the month. For the most recent Turner Townsend Heery Basic Services, there's an $11,100 invoice for basic services, and then there's the Studio G Basic Services for $2,500. So those are down below here. We can take a look at these.
So I think Jim had a comment on
I do.
one of these invoices.
I do on the Turner invoice for the 11,000. It's not the invoice itself. I mean, I'm receiving I received an email late this afternoon from the MSBA requesting to requesting the status of the cash flow for the Shaker Lane Elementary School in the town, which brought concern, alarm, and concerns. And I've confirmed with our town accountant and our finance director, we haven't submitted a reimbursement since March. So I would like to just table this right now, Mr. Chairman, to understand a little bit more with the email that we received this afternoon. And I would like a better comfort level that why since March, and let's what is the timing going forward?
Understood. Any comment on that, Matt?
We have the cash flow in our packet. I don't know. Did you get a chance to look at that, Jim?
I did not look at the cash flow in the packet yet. I have not.
Okay, it's on screen here.
Okay.
So you can see from the lower line at the bottom of the page here, at the 1,085,000 budget, and the amendments and committed funds next to it. So 1,085,000 is the budget. Then the spent to date, approved invoices to date, comes to 1,061,960. And the balance of remaining funds is 23,040. So we are still under budget, still in good shape, and this includes this current invoices.
Well,
And I don't think that's what he's talking about, Matt.
Yeah, that doesn't answer Jim's question.
Thank you.
Can I answer that, please?
Okay, Suresh.
Yeah. So, Jim, to answer your question, we are still waiting for this amendment to the original PFA arrangement, which was at under 700,685, and then that was increased to $1,085,000. So the MSBA, the town signed it, you signed and sent it to them, the budget revision request. Till they approve that budget revision request, we cannot enter any more invoices in the ProPay system. So that's what's holding back the entry of the ProPay into ProPay at this point. So that's the reason there's nothing has been added. And the other question regarding the cash flow, I believe we have a cash flow that was submitted with a schematic design, but after that there was the FF&E budget was submitted. So I'm not sure right now because I saw that email too, and I was going to talk to Mark when he gets back, or to Matt after this meeting, whether it was related to the FF&E that was not distributed in the original cash flow to the MSBA. That's the only question that's there.
Suresh, can you follow up with the MSBA and see when they're going to approve that?
Yes.
Because we need that number for town meeting.
Exactly.
The number for the dollar value is approved.
The amount of the reimbursement that we're going to expect on this feasibility study.
That will be part of that the vote on next Wednesday, the 3011 form that they'll approve. The percentages in the 3011 form, that's what they will approve.
I mean, we need the cash by that date. We want to move the cash.
Okay, so I think we should try to get the budget revision request expedited through them, because once they approve that, we can immediately enter the invoices and get those processed.
Thank you.
Have we not submitted any reimbursements through ProPay yet to MSBA?
No, we have.
Okay, so have they made any payments?
Yes, I can give you a number in 1 second if you hold on for a minute.
The last submission that we have of record is in March.
Correct.
So when was our last reimbursement?
So that would be
April. Would have been in April. You would have received it if it was submission was in March. You would have received it in April. And the submission and the reimbursement. I'm sorry, this is Chuck Adam. I jumped in on it. And the reason again that it was being held up is the MSBA still had not processed the budget revision request to adjust the 750 something thousand Suresh just mentioned. So therefore the ProPay was off. We were submitting it based on the new numbers. They were rejecting everything and they're saying, no, that doesn't match the budget. And we said, it's because you haven't updated the ProPay yet with the budget revision request. So we're stuck in this sort of bureaucratic wheel, but we will get with them. I will call into the MSBA, or Suresh and I will call our contacts, the MSBA tomorrow, and push them hard.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just allowed Michelle Reynolds in, who's the town accountant. She raised her hand and wanted to make a comment.
Thanks, Steve. Just to let you know, from the last submission, which was in March, it took about 3.5 months to get that money.
That's extremely unusual.
Really?
We'll find out what's going on. Yeah, that never takes that long.
So if I can explain what's happened was originally we submitted them. The first one was submitted in September, I believe in September 24, and they reimbursed that in October 24. The next one was submitted in March, and they did not. Like the first one submitted was July 29, 24, and they reimbursed us on May. Payment was made on October 10th, and the second one was on March 25th. The payment was made on June 12th. Because we have submitted 641,768, and the total project budget original was $700,000, so we can only submit $50,000, no more than, we cannot submit less than $50,000. And if the invoices add more than that, then if you submit them in, they get kicked back right away till this budget revision request is approved, which is still pending with the MSBA. And like Chuck mentioned, we will follow up with them again to expedite that, so you can get the reimbursement. We can submit the reimbursement and you can get the money released to you.
If I may, through the chair.
Go ahead, Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I can appreciate jumping on this and everything like that, but it shouldn't get to this point.
Agreed.
Bottom line. Okay. We've had an audience with MSBA enough times to sit there, especially, I think we had one on a Thursday morning, not 2-3 weeks ago, that clearly that was an issue that was a major stumbling block that absolutely should have been brought up then.
And
So-
Jim, I can only tell you every single time we talk to him, we ask him about it. And every single
and
time, I'm not making excuses. I'm really not. We will again. I will speak to the director myself tomorrow. I have the ability to reach them. It's not a problem. And we'll just say, hey, listen, this is holding us up. It's holding up the town. It's holding up everybody. We've given you everything you've asked for. What can we do? It's the budget department. I'm not making excuses. It's the authority. They're falling apart up there. They lost the person that does their audits. We have a project that was closed in 2015 that they will not audit. They have everything they've needed for 3 years. So they're in a mess. But we will call them tomorrow, and either Suresh or I will give you a call tomorrow and tell you what we found out.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Yep.
I still make the request to the chair. Let's table this until we can understand a little bit better.
I
Please.
agree.
No
So
problem.
are we
Thank
going to then vote on Studio G services or?
Yes.
Okay.
You tabling both of them or just
No,
one?
just Studio G.
You need a motion for that?
Well, Matt, do you want to talk to Studio G or have you already?
I know Mary Lee's on, but we're talking about the Studio G invoice, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that is in the packet here. One moment. I believe it's in the packet right here. Studio G, this is an invoice for their currently billed $2,500 in the schematic design phase. So I don't know. We reviewed and approved this and recommend for payment.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve this Studio G invoice for $2,500? Don't all speak at once. Kelly, if you're speaking, you're on mute.
Yep. So moved. Sorry.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay,
I'm
thanks.
sorry,
Mike.
who seconded it?
Roll call vote.
Thank you, Mike.
Kelly,
Kelly Clancy, yes.
Michelle,
Michelle Kane, yes.
Steve Venuti,
Stephen Udi, yes.
Bob,
Bob Romo, yes.
Mike,
Mike Scaduto, yes.
Steve Moore, yes. Motion carries. Studio G service invoice is approved. New business.
Yeah, so new business, the first item was establishing the financial subcommittee for a vote.
Yeah.
Do we have any suggestions as to the composition of this committee?
So my question is, how many people do we need on the committee? I mean, obviously an odd number, but do we need 3 or 5?
I just want to check the notes from the last meeting.
Steve, it's totally up to you. This Chuck again. It's totally up to you. Whatever you think is the best to get invoices and budget reports and things reviewed and approved as they needed. This becomes more important as you're moving into the construction phase and also during the design phase, the further design phase after the approval of the MSBA, when you need to start getting revisions and things approved. I don't know what your charter or what the plan is for the building committee, but 90% of our building committees will do a financial review committee that will report anything that were changes. Now, you know, again, how your town works relative what authority you can give them to approve changes is totally up to you. But this is really to expedite approval of invoices and recommendations made so that you've reviewed it. Sitting here at the meeting, those 3 members can say, we've reviewed it, we've accepted it, it's all fine.
So Chuck, from your experience, what's a committee like this made up of, is it 3 or 5 members or?
It's based on the size of your building committee. I would say 3 is fine.
Well, that's not very helpful.
Well, I do that because
Well,
your
let me
building committee
ask, what's your recommendation here?
I would say based on the number of people on your building committee, just looking at the screen today, what are you, 7 roughly? Or you're 9? So
9, I think.
9.
yeah. So if you're 9, you know, you're gonna need at least 3 in order to that. 5
Yeah.
you could do, then 4 left short. So 3 or 5 is fine. It's very light lifting. You usually it's a review of things with the town accountant and with anybody else who's involved in finance.
Yeah, I think you know, Kelly, do you think 3 would be sufficient? 3?
Yeah,
Like,
I think 3 would be fine.
Yeah.
I would certainly like to see Steve Venuti on that if
absolutely.
willing to.
I think we saw Steve's hand raised there.
You didn't.
Any other volunteers?
I will gladly be on that, so. If it's looking at invoices and things like that and during construction, I would suggest someone from the building committee, maybe Mike or you, Steve.
I agree.
Mike,
Is your hand raised or is that just a snack in your hand?
I got nothing in my hands.
So, Mike, would you be willing?
Sure.
Okay, Steve Venuti, Mike. Who else can we get? Bob Romley?
No.
Maybe?
No.
All righty.
There are too many things in the works now.
Kelly, would you be
Kelly?
interested?
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay, so we got Steve Venuti, Mike, and Kelly. Is there a motion to approve the 3 members for the financial subcommittee?
So moved.
Second?
Seconded by Michelle Kane.
Okay, roll call vote. Kelly?
Kelly Clancy, yes.
Michelle?
Michelle Kane, yes.
Steve W. Venuti?
Steve W. Venuti, yes.
Bob?
Bob Rama, yes.
Mike?
Mike Scaduto, yes.
And Steve, yes. So thanks very much for that.
Hey, Steve, can I ask a question on that?
Absolutely.
Because typically when building projects go forward, they are under the spending authority of the Permanent Municipal Building Committee.
Yep.
So how will that be coordinating with this financial subcommittee?
I mean, once it's turned over to PMBC, we will, you know, we will approve, you know, invoices as they come in. That's a totally different committee.
Well, wouldn't that be with if the project is going forward? Or are you just saying this financial subcommittee is for now?
It is for the design phase, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Up until construction.
Okay.
Up until the select board requests the PMBC to be involved in the project.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Joint meeting with the select board. I think Steve was handling that.
Yes, I talked to the chairs of the various committees, and to Jim yesterday. We're looking at September 2nd. Probably at, I would imagine, 6:30. Jim, if you could, I guess, pick a room, and we'll have to post the meetings for each committee.
Be in the center on Shattuck.
Okay. 6:30 or 7, which would you like?
What say you? I'm good. Whatever time you'd like.
I think Gary has to leave at 7:30, so the earlier the better.
Fine. 6:30. Fine.
6.
Great. 6. Great.
6.
Yeah, 6 to 8.
6 o'clock.
Sounds good.
6 o'clock at the center. Okay,
6 to 8.
sure.
And where is that?
Center on Shattuck, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay, next,
Okay, next item is number 4, the Studio G A schematic submission update. I think Mary Lee is on our call here. She can jump in at this point.
Yep, thank you.
Mary Lee, before you start, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Just to formalize things, Steve. For basically Jim, we should probably as a committee vote to request the select board to put an article in town meeting warrant for the construction. I know it's going to be there, but we should formalize it and request the select board put the article on.
do you want to make that motion, Steve, since you have it so well articulated?
Sure, I'll move that the Shaker Lane Building Committee request the select board to place an article on the October 28th town meeting warrant for the construction of the Shaker Lane School.
Okay, is there a second?
Second, Kelly?
Okay,
If I may, before roll call, and I just
Go ahead.
want to just confirm this, and I don't mean to get into the weeds at all. Does the motion have to also include the funding component of it? Not only just put it on there, but it's going to be on there to seek funding? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yes, I guess to ask the select board to place an article in town meeting warrant to fund the construction of the Shaker Lane School. It's not up to our committee as far as the debt exclusion. That's up to the select board, so.
Okay. All right. Just the mechanism, but the funding also. Okay, great. Thank you.
That's a good point, Jim.
So, Jim, are you involved in drafting the actual article?
Yes, town council has it. I've worked and Mark Stafford forwarded me the draft language, and town council has it right now, and I want to be able to get that back to MSBA and also the Shaker Lane Committee and everything like that, the final product for MSBA's approval.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Yes, sir.
Okay, I think I know we have a motion. Did we have a second? I can't remember.
I seconded it.
Kelly.
Okay. Roll call vote, Kelly?
Kelly Clenchey, yes.
Michelle?
Michelle Kane, yes.
Steve Venuti?
Steve Venuti, yes.
Bob?
Bob Romo, yes.
Mike?
Mike Scaduto, yes.
Steve Moore, yes. Okay, thank you. And now we can move over to Studio G.
All right, thank you. So yes, for the schematic submission update, our response to the MSBA comments were returned, I believe, last Monday, and they have acknowledged receipt. I think Mark Stafford said a couple times that the comments were fairly minimal. I agree with that. It was no problem responding to those. They had comments on the report itself and then also on the square footages. And although their wording is always a little confusing, there were no surprises. We had all of the spaces reimbursable that we were expecting to have. Only a very small amount was not reimbursable, and I believe we've all gone through that on a previous meeting. But I think that's really all I have to say about the schematic submission update.
Okay, total project budget.
I'm not sure why that's under mine. I think that's just TTH.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this last month's summary that's on screen, we talked about the worksheet. I know Chuck and Suresh were probably involved in conversations since then, but there's a total project budget at the MSA of the 98,619,152. And which is a little higher, about 469 higher than the advertised total project budget. So we're still looking at costs and ways to reduce further reduce costs to align with the total project cost of $98,149,932. So I think that's still underway. Chuck, is that accurate?
Yep, that summarizes it well.
Okay. Okay, any questions on that? All right, so that's kind of a total project update right there. Number 5, the budget update. I think this budget update refers to the cash flow that I went through a little earlier, that we are still under budget on our phase, our segment of the contract here. So we're in good shape there. And this includes the current invoices that we looked at earlier. So unless there's any question there, I'll move back up to the last item. Not quite last, but we're at the point of the schedule update. So that we have our schedule on here. I'm going to make this a little bigger if I can, but I'm getting pretty good at this Zoom thing, I think. Okay, so town meeting vote is our 10/28. We are currently waiting for MSBA. No, we had comments, and Mary Lee said it was just comments were received and responded to with minimal comments on the last submission. So we are on schedule. And we have some things to look at in between now and the vote, some public outreach and things like that that we can talk about shortly.
Matt, when you say shortly, does that mean tonight or later?
Well, I think I was just referring, we have a project, a public comment section, that's what I was referring to, but also I know there's some other outreaches. Michelle, you may have a better grasp than I do on public outreach at the moment, but things that are happening there, and maybe even Mary Lee.
Sure. Do you want me to comment now?
Sure.
Sure. So for those of you who don't know, we have Annalise Tabor. I believe she might be even listening in on this call. She is working hard in a Yes for Littleton group. She has weekly, if not every other week, meetings. I think they had one last night. Has a campaign going, has really has salon signs, is really talking it up, Facebook page. We also have, some other members that are helping her out, getting the word out in the town. I know Dr. Clenchey is working with a couple of members of the group also to create a video through Dave Cartoonin. We have another meeting coming up, I think in September. We had a meeting in a couple weeks ago, and we just, had our forum last week. I think it was last Wednesday. We had a building tour. We actually had a really good turnout, which was surprising. We had close to a dozen people turn out for our tour, and not a forum, our tour and Q&A. So it was surprisingly great. I don't know if anybody else wants to add anything.
Nothing to add, but I just want to say I am thrilled to hear that you had a good turnout. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, I think we can jump into public comment if there's any on the call.
Annalise and Rob Browns. Annalise, I'll bring you in first. Annalise, you're in. Go ahead. Name and address. You're muted, I think.
Sorry about that. Annalise Tabor, 291 Goldsmith. I am the chair of the Yes for Littleton ballot question committee. Just to piggyback off of what Michelle was just saying, so I was at the tour, and it was not only a good turnout, but it was mostly, if all, new people. So it was that's huge too. So it's always good to see new people and to get new voices, and we had a couple of butters that were from the other side of Shaker Lane that hadn't been included in the original sort of a butter conversation. And they were a little concerned about sort of where the buses are going to be entering, which is also where the construction trucks are going to be entering. And so, you know, they're still in support of the project and everything, but part of our outreach efforts are going to be to make sure that like everybody on Shaker Lane and then everybody in the school zone on Goldsmith, like everybody has, you know, is part, like everybody's been contacted, everybody has their voice heard, because we don't want any like last minute, you know, somebody coming up to town meeting like, oh, I never, you know, we want to make sure everybody feels heard.
That's going to happen anyway.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're going to do our best to make sure. So yeah, so that was very encouraging. So I have a couple questions, a couple things I just wanted to confirm with you guys. So we were hoping the next community, the next community forum is going to be in September. And we were wondering if we could not only have it at the senior center, but maybe have it on a Saturday, like September 27th. Just trying to reach as many community members as we can. And I know we haven't had one of those forums at the senior center yet, so something to consider. I know we still have to schedule that meeting. So the Saturday would be kind of a bonus, but if just at the senior center would be the priority, I think. So as we're thinking about that and looking at schedules, that'd be great. My other question is, so the joint meeting on the 2nd at 6 o'clock, we are going to be requesting that each committee vote officially to approve the project, if that is a possibility. Basically, just the official word on, you know, yes, our committee approves the project so that we can put it in the warrant before that that deadline. So that is a request. Looking at my notes. Another one is so the Shaker Lane yard signs, the ones that have the QR code, not our yard signs, but the ones that are they're not officially, you know, yes. So we were hoping that we could put those on not only school property, but town property like fields and things like that. So just something to think about. Just a request that we'd like to make officially.
Annalise, I think we have about maybe 10 of those signs left.
Really, just 10?
It might even be less. Yeah, we have a lot of them. So yes, I would agree. Waiting for that approval to definitely spread those around town.
Yeah, because I mean, even 10 is 10.
Absolutely.
Because we could do the library, we could do, I mean, some sports fields. Like 10 will go a long way. So you know, that would be an awesome way to use up the rest of those. And then of course we're getting our yard signs around everywhere privately. They've been going like hotcakes, which is really great. And then my last request is, so we received the code triggering memo today, and I had been hoping that there would be more clear numbers for the no vote. Like, you know, the boiler will be costing X amount if it has to be replaced, that kind of thing. So I don't know if those numbers exist or if there's another way to get those numbers, because I think it would be basically my request is to have a more accurate, as accurate as we can be, number for the no vote, if that makes sense. So, because I know that 44 million was like cost per square foot was done last summer. You know, we're saying this might be a lot more, but if like we could have as accurate as possible number for the no vote, so we can compare it to hopefully this fantastic number that we're going to get on the 27th. So
has this committee seen that
the memo?
Yes, it was actually on last meeting's agenda.
I missed the last meeting.
Okay. I can send you a copy.
Okay. But I think to Annalise's comment, the more information we can provide for no vote is helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. We just want to be as clear as and transparent as we can be.
Yeah.
We don't want to be hiding any information, or because we're asking for people's trust, so we just want to make sure that we have everything that we can have. So, but otherwise, that's it for me. So thank you so much for your time.
Annalise, I have one question for you. Why
Yeah, go
are
ahead.
you asking for all the committees to vote on September 2nd to advance this project?
So we are just asking for an official word of support from school committee, FinCom, and select board, so that we can have it published in the warrant that, school committee supports this, FinCom supports this, that kind of thing. Because I know the warrant closes on the 12th.
So Steve, I have a question for Steve Venuti. Will they have enough information that night to make, vote on that?
That's what I was gonna talk about with my hand raised here. I believe, and I know Karen's on the call and Jim's here, that according to the select board calendar for this town meeting warrant, that's scheduled between the FinCom and the select board to take their votes of recommendation on September 22nd. So we'll get the information out to everybody on the 2nd, and I'm sure the school committee at some point will have a meeting to vote. The Shaker Lane Building Committee can certainly vote that night to support it. I don't see a reason why we couldn't do that. But I believe the FinCom and Select Board are scheduled on the 22nd. We
Okay.
could probably talk about a consensus and see what arguments there are against it, but maybe a bit too early because they're just getting that information.
Exactly.
I agree.
It may be a little too early for that.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely
I
agree
see
with
what
that.
Karen has her hand raised, so we should
Yeah,
see
go
what
ahead.
she has to say.
To confirm, it is the September 22nd meeting that will be taking those votes.
So just so I have, everything correct on my end. If the warrant closes on the 12th, that means what's being published in that booklet that's it, right?
There's a difference between the warrant being closed and the booklet being published. There's a lot of time. The booklet doesn't go to the printer until end of September, early October, so plenty of time.
So if we're gathering these kind of votes, it's okay to wait. Do we have, basically, is there a deadline we should be working towards for getting these votes so that we can get them printed in the warrant?
The 22nd is the day.
Okay. All right. That works. As long as we just get them in before then, that's our goal.
Yeah, I just wanted to address Annalise's comment because I did think it was premature, but thanks for the confirmation, Steve.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, is that all set on that? Okay,
Yes,
Rob
thank
Bronze. Let me bring him in. He's got his hand raised. Rob, name and address, please.
Yeah, Rob Brown's 25 Juniper Road. So, a respected citizen has launched a pretty extensive podcast of protesting and expressing his intention to vote against and to rally against in the project, and instead is presenting a number of assertions that seem to center around the concept of using modulars as the solution, not necessarily all modulars, but rather as modulars in order to offset the lack of adequate classrooms. He makes another assertion of significance, stating that numerous school systems have modulars that could be, if I'm remembering correctly, could be basically picked up because they're done using them, so they don't have to be purchased, is what he states, saying they only need to be transported. And so the cost of do nothing makes a statement with regard to 11 modulars at a cost, along with connection of utilities, for a total of $6 million, I think is the presentation data. And he's somewhat attacking that by way of not not needing 11 modulars, but rather use it in a partiality. So I don't want to I'm not asking to get it in the weeds here. I am asking who can inform people like me so that we can understand and critique this assertion or series of assertions that he's making. I'm quite concerned with regard to his reach in the community and the damaging effects that his straight talk presentation can have, reinforcing a negative vote.
Hey, Kelly, have you seen that?
I have not. First time I've heard of it. I mean, there are many counterbalancing points. First of all, adding 7 or 11 portables isn't going to take care of the fact that we have a school that's beyond its life expectancy, and it's not if it'll happen, it's when we're going to have a system failure, which will be very disruptive in most cases. Portables are definitely not ideal for that age group, and we would be looking for portables that have washrooms available, so there would be money required for that. There are used portables out there, and you typically don't get them for just transporting them. There's a cost associated with it. My wife just finished a project, and she had to bring I can't remember how many, 50, 60, 70 portables over the Cape Cod Bridge.
Wow.
And then hook them up, and it was a lot of money. So, and she did pay for those portables plus transportation. So, I mean, again, one has to consider the whole picture here. I mean, we're looking at pre-K to 2 students. They're our youngest learners. We want to make sure that they're connected to the school as much as possible, and walking outside during the winter time and cold weather to go back and forth to the cafeteria or gymnasium or to receive services if they require services isn't the best option. And if we don't do anything to modernize the building and just do a cold upgrades, it's not going to meet the educational plan that we've designed, which is really focusing around 21st century learning skills. So I get it. My experience as superintendent for 26 years is portables are a temporary measure until a town is eligible to get funding from the state or decides to build the school on their own. It's certainly not a permanent solution.
I saw Jim's hand up. I don't know if he pulled it down.
Yeah, no, it's really just something to Kelly's point. I mean, Kelly's been in this for 26 years. I've been over for 30 years, and I've dealt with the temporary portables in 2 or 3 different communities. I think 2 different communities, and that's exactly what they are, is temporary. In no way, shape, or form is it a sustainable long-term learning environment whatsoever. Absolutely, positively not. Coupled with the fact that they're connected to what Kelly said is an antiquated building. And really, it's something that is so outdated and tired. And so I respect the opinion, but I do not agree with it whatsoever at all, in no way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I agree. And then bringing in secondhand portables to an antiquated school is adding, old to old, and that just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So
Karen's got her hand up as well.
Yeah, not to pile on, but as a parent, I have experience with young children being educated in modulars, and it's my own children back in Colorado. And while it is okay to say that it is less than ideal, even that is really giving it too much credit. The kids feel completely separated from the rest of the student body. They it's cold in the winter and it's hot in the summer, no matter what. It should be used temporarily at best. And that, even then, short-term temporarily. That's where my kiddos attended kindergarten. Fantastic school, right? But they ran out of space. They brought in trailers, and yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same environment.
And let's remember that the modulars are used until a permanent solution is completed. So, you know, this person is advocating modulars as a permanent solution.
No. If I can speak, no, he's not. He's actually, so I appreciate all the time already given to this. If there's someone that I can speak more offline, he's not advocating a permanent solution. He's actually advocating a delay of several years. And I'm not trying to in any way suggest all the statements that I've heard. I couldn't agree more. I'm trying to combat what I see as a respected citizen who's saying delay it for 2 to 3 years. He appears to give no concern with regard to the inevitability that if this fails, that being the vote, that we're going to trigger the situation to have a code upgrade. He seems to give no consideration with that. Rather, he seems to be enamored with the concept that modulars to offset the utilization of inadequate space for a period of 2 to 3 years to offset what he presents. I don't know his support, but he presents as that will negate the impact of existing tariffs and the existence of a high interest rate, and how he thinks both of those are going to go away. I can't begin to speak to. So I appreciate all the time given. If there's someone that is willing, I was looking for, is there a presentation that was made a year or so ago with regard to consideration of a use of modulars other than a total use of modulars, which is not what he's advocating for. And he's not looking for it as a permanent. He's got something in between that I still think is very vulnerable, but I know that there are people on this call that have the experience and the knowledge with which to combat it. And that was my purpose for speaking tonight. And I thank you for your time.
And Rob, one more thing. If this gentleman is looking at 2 to 3 years, then he's also assuming that the community is going to shoulder the whole cost of the project, because there will be no grant from MSBA. I think that's a pretty strong rebuttal by itself. But I mean, Rob, we meet every Friday. We can certainly talk about it then more correctly. And Jim Duggan has a lot of experience as well, so we can certainly talk through this.
Kelly, can I join you in that meeting, please?
Of course, you bet.
Just that one. Just that one.
Are you sure? You're always welcome.
I know I am. Just that one. I have Rob on Mondays.
Okay, I'll send you the link.
Mary Lee has her hand up too.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point out that going back months, every single presentation that was recorded has several minutes of myself and Kelly talking about modulars and how they're not a real solution for all the reasons everybody just named, but also because modulars don't solve issues like the gymnasium being half the size it's supposed to be. So there's quite a few meetings that were recorded if you want to go back and look at those. We also talked about things like escalation and why modulars are not a permanent solution at all, and why the sooner this project can be done, the better, both in terms of getting the MSBA grant and taking advantage of that. Plus, you know, the longer you wait, the more costs go up. So I'm repeating what others have already said, but I just wanted to point out that those statements were recorded and they should be available online.
Okay, thanks, Marilee.
Yep.
Any other public comment?
Nobody from the attendees, so that's it.
Okay, so the next meeting is Wednesday, September 17th. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I'm not gonna ask for a roll call vote. I assume it's unanimous. So, thanks everyone, and we'll see you at the next meeting.
Thanks, Steve.
Great.
Thanks, everyone.
Steve.
Have a good night.
Night
Good
all.
night, everyone.